Welcome. You're tuned into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal Pope. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. For some reason, we have been unable to get the internet working. So I'm using my phone to come live to you, and then we're taping it at the same time. So good morning, and I'm going to try to figure out a way to put this thing so that you here. Cool. All right, there we go. And then I have to also look up at the same time. So we're going to try to do this right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're still there. Goodness gracious, the last 2 weeks have been incredibly crazy when it comes to the internet. So I'm going to keep looking up and down because I can't figure out why it didn't go through on Facebook this morning. And so welcome. Thank you for joining us every week on Life is a Sacred Journey. It is my honor and privilege to constantly be here with you. I'm going to try to figure out a way to prop this up so that I'm not looking up and down and up and down. But it's great to be with you, and I really appreciate every week when you show up, when you come, and I know you're out there, and I know that you're watching, and I know that you, let me see here, care about what we're doing here. Hit the share button. Let them know that we're live, and I apologize again for the camera. I have no clue what happened to Facebook. We had a hard time connecting with them this morning. So first of all, I want to start by saying this is Life is a Sacred Journey. This is pondering number 16. And the first thing that I'm pondering now is technology. Like how weird technology is, that we have all of these resources available to us, but when we need them, they don't work at all. So I have a phone here, right here, that's right here, that I keep looking down at because I want to make sure that I am talking to all of you on Facebook while I am recording on Zoom, and also recording through the Spreaker system. So I just want to thank you for hanging in there. This morning, I want to thank my good friend, Nancy Redding, who sent me this book. The book is titled, for those on the phone, those here, it's Peace Train. And it's by Cat Stevens. If you all are children of the 70s, 60s, 70s, you know about Cat Stevens and you know about Peace Train. And I love this book, and it's the song, the words of the song. And what, when you open it, it says Peace Train Express Ticket. And she put my name in there, and the date of my departure is sometime in 2021. So I want to say this is a wonderful book, and I want to thank you, Nancy. It is here in my office, and I will keep it in my office because it's on my desk, on my table over here, so that when people come in, they know they're on the Peace Train. Also, anybody who knows me well and receives any kind of correspondence from me know that I sign my my emails and everything with peace, because peace, and I log off with peace, because peace in the heart means peace in the world. So thank you, Nancy. She also sent me, let me see if I can grab it here, this wonderful t-shirt. Okay, it's yellow because, you know, I'm trying to wear more color, and it says I am, and then all around the circle it says amazing, capable, chosen, never alone, always loved, beautiful, victorious, enough, created, strong, and amazing. And then there's the Bible verses that go along with that. So Nancy, thank you so much. I'm going to wear this. I was going to wear it today, but I want to wear it with my jeans, my big jeans, and I'm going to a luncheon, so I couldn't wear jeans today, but you will see me wear this on Life is a Sacred Journey at some point. Nancy, thank you so much for my gifts. I truly, truly appreciate them. So I wanted to give you a pondering that I have had and been in conversation with a really good friend of mine. This person started in my life not as a friend. Our relationship was very adversarial, I will say. And over time, we just kept digging in. And this person and I made the decision we were going to work through this and try to figure out why we were having this challenge in communication and why we weren't getting along and all of that. We just couldn't hear each other. You know what I mean? We couldn't hear each other. And now, fast forward 2.5 years or whatever it's been, I have a great relationship with this person that they can pick up the phone and say to me, you know, I wasn't feeling good about this, or I need to talk to you about that, and not just using preconceived information to determine what I'm talking about. And so I just really, really appreciate the fact that when you come together with another human being and truly communicate, what happens is you can overcome thresholds. And what we talked about this week, because we had a nice conversation actually just yesterday, and it was about the acknowledgement of the atrocities of human to human and the things that we do that are so over the top with each other, like not listening and really not paying attention to what people are trying to say, and instead it's filtered through all of our biases and what we're feeling and what we're not feeling. And then we end up having division that is not our division. You know what I mean? It's not our division. It just ends up being division because we are either filtering it through a stereotype, a past experience, whatever. It's being filtered through that. Systematic stuff, you know, I always talk about systems that need to be revisioned and re-looked at, because when we say that we have a system that says how we teach our children the history of the United States, where we're willing not to tell the truth, then that's not history. Then that means we're messing with it. And to me, just tell the facts of the history. And then as together, we can begin to have dialogue with our future generations, our children, and ourselves, to move closer to a time where we're sharing and learning from each other. Instead, we get caught up in, I didn't have anything to do with it. My family didn't have anything to do with it. We get caught up in all this drama that, you know, we're not willing to have the conversation. So what I said to one of my Asian colleagues, that recently we had a conversation about the Black on Asian crime that is being perpetrated by the media, where it is happening. Yes, there's one individual, happens to be Black, has done something to an Asian person, and we saw it in the news in New York, slashed a person's face. In San Francisco, I'm told that there is young Black male crime on older Asian folks, where they rob them and knock them down and all of this. There is nothing in me, there's no grain of anything in my humanity that would say that that is a good thing, because it's not a good thing. It is something that needs to be spoken to, and something that we need to get rid of and understand that it is wrong. It is wrong. And if we keep doing it, we're going to end up having a world where people just continue to prey on each other and not understand that we're all in this together. And when we say we're all in this together, that we really mean that we're all in this together, and that it's not just a cliche. It's not just something where we're saying it because we think we're right. You know what I mean? Because we can't be right when somebody is hurting. And when somebody is hurting, something's wrong. And so how do we get to a place where we are understanding that and moving closer together as a humanity? I think it's wrong that we see this young males committing crimes on older people, regardless of their nationality or culture, because that's what I do. I'm an advocate for elders, and crime against any elder to me is an abomination. But that said, when those things happen, I don't just stick in that place. I want to know what got that person to a place where he could see a frail older person and think that they were someone to be victimized. I want to go deeper into the sociology of why we as human beings have created these other human beings, because we have to stop poking finger. Like I said to somebody the other day, we were talking about ASAP, and I said to them, if you ever think there's anything wrong in the way we do business or the way that we do things, then you're a part of the decision making here, so it's your fault too. It's not just my fault because I'm the CEO, the executive director. It's all of our fault because we've had communication, or you didn't say, let's do this differently, or I have a better idea. So if you don't say anything, then you're a part of the problem. If you don't do anything, then you're a part of the problem. If you don't speak up. That young lady, and her name is not going to come to me, but who was the whistleblower this week, kudos to you. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, she dimed. That's what I know. That's one way of talking about it. She dimed. Or as one person said, oh, she's a stoolie, or whatever the slangs are for when people tell the truth. When people tell the truth, we call them names. But when you're lied to, you believe it. And that is a psychology that I do not understand. And so I just want to say, I don't know that woman, and she doesn't know me, and she'll probably never watch Life is a Sacred Journey. But I just want to say we need more truth tellers. We need people who are not walking around saying what they think other people want to hear because they're afraid of losing a friendship. They're afraid of losing a relationship. I've had people tell me, I'm afraid if I say this or that, this person won't be my friend or they won't like me. Well, you know what? You weren't brought to this world to be liked by everybody. Yes. Can it be lonely not being liked by everybody? Maybe. I have never been lonely not being liked. I've been disappointed when I haven't been liked, like, okay, why doesn't this person like me? What have I done wrong? What could I do better? How do I meet them where they are? But if they still don't like me, I'm moving on. I ain't even trying to figure out anymore. I always look at me first because, we always look outward. We can always blame somebody for how we behave or what we think our behavior is. But at the end of the day, it really is about me. If somebody is feeling oppressed by me, I have to look at me. Is it the way I carry myself? Is it the words that I'm saying? And am I trying to demonstrate the love that I truly want to just give out, like the Care Bears, Love those Care Bears, man. I dig them love them. But that's what it's all about. How do we do that in a way that we're not hurting each other? I just feel the hurt that we inflict upon each other is so, we don't realize how catastrophic it is to the humanity that we start to begin to give off this negative drama and environment that it just goes from person to person, generation to generation. And that saddens me. That saddens me. I was with some young ladies yesterday, beautiful, beautiful young ladies, half my age. And I thought to myself, I am so happy they're sitting here with me. And I was thinking, I'm learning so much from being with them. And I hope they understand that I'm learning from them. That was what I was thinking the whole time. So that pondering, all of that round circle pondering is mentor somebody. Reach back in, or reach to the side, or reach to the front and say to a person that is half your age or younger, I will walk with you through this life, because this life is hard, okay? We got to stop acting like it's easy. This is not easy. This journey is hard. It takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of planning. I always tell people, if you don't have a plan, then you're just willy-nilly living your life. You got to have some plans. You got to have a plan A, B, C, D, and all the way to Z if possible. You got to live out your purpose, meaning you've got to focus on the plan, because the plan comes from purpose. And then you have to figure out, what tools do I need? What do I need in order to live this out? And then seek those tools out. Is it education? Is it going up to somebody and saying, you know what, I want to learn what you do. I'm going to figure out a way. You don't even have to pay me. I did that once. I walked into a retail store after getting a degree in, retail marketing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to just be in your management training program. I want to be a buyer. So when I go through your management training program, I'll even go through the management training program for free. And they were shocked, because I was still living at home. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I was still living at home. And I didn't do it for free. They paid me, of course. But at the end of the day, I shot through that management training program, and I was a manager for many years and ended up being an assistant buyer and then a buyer. I lived my dream in that part of my career, but I was razor focused on what it was I wanted. They offered me other jobs in between where I could have become the big store manager and all of that. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a buyer. I wanted to travel, and I wanted to touch the fabrics, and I wanted to, That's what you do. Razor focused. I didn't know that my office would be in the back warehouse. I didn't understand that. I thought that I could be glamorous. Yes, I dressed glamorous, but my office was a concrete wall with the what do you call those things? The bricks. You could see the bricks, and it was a concrete wall. But I'm telling you, that's the best office that I've ever had, because I was humbled by the fact that my dream, what I thought my dream was going to be, was a little bit different, but I was still living out my dream. I dressed to the nine and walked back into that cold office, concrete wall, and still fulfilled my dream. So it is about that. It is about fulfilling a dream that is so important to you that there's nothing can get in the way. Denzel Washington has a wonderful, inspiring message that he gave a group of young people at a graduation. And he said to them, you have to put your spiritual life first. You have to put, he said, God. I know a lot of people out there they have a hard time dealing with the word God. I'm not one of them. And to those of you out there, and life is a sacred journey, if you're joining us for the first time and you thought that you were going to hear something else, we still invite you to stay with us, because, again, I believe in God. I follow God. You may believe in Buddha. You may believe. I'm never going to put you down for how you practice your spirituality. That is not my journey. That is not my journey. All I can do is share with you what I do to make it through the world and the reality, and make it through this life. I've had a life. Trust me. I'm 64, and I've been looking at the snapshots of my life, and I realized, my 20s weren't good. They were horrific, quite honestly. My high school years, I hated being in high school. Every moment that I was there, I hated being there. I was not liked. even though I was liked because I became senior class president. You know, people wrote great things in my yearbook, but I suffered there. I suffered in silence. I had eczema and people bullied me, and it was during the time of segregating the schools. And so I went there and started with, feeling like I shouldn't be there on that campus because of the color of my skin. So high school, and it's interesting because not a lot, but a couple of my friends that were with me during that time, they said they could never have imagined it, that I was that unhappy, because I learned how to mask my unhappiness. And I took that into my adulthood, where I realized that I took it into my adulthood, and I was masking how I felt about a lot of things in my marriage, in my work. I was working at a home health agency and putting in so many hours traveling across the country, traveling to Florida, traveling here to California. That was when I fell in love with California and eventually moved here. And I found myself just hating myself, that I would look in the mirror and just hate myself. And I'm here to tell you, I have a good friend that's sending me some photographs that all of us are reminiscing. My whole crew, my whole posse in the 60s, we're all reminiscing. And he sent me some photographs of myself. Oh my gosh. I hated myself. I look at myself, I look deep in the eyes of the woman in that photograph, and I hated myself so much that I wasn't caring for myself. I was overweight in many of those pictures. I was suffering high blood pressure majorly in that time, but there was no glimmer in my eye. There was no joy for life in my eye. You could see that I was just living life on a day-to-day and just trying to wait for the day that something would pop open in me and I could say, I'm alive. I was fighting for life. And you could see it. I can see it in the pictures. I was crying when I saw those pictures because I thought, oh my gosh, you look younger now than you did then. And those pictures are 33 years old. So I was shocked to see what the lack of joy, what the lack of inner happiness, with no connection to anything looks like on a person. Because I was looking at me and seeing a me that I do not see anymore. I don't know that person in those photos. I don't know that person. That person doesn't exist anymore because I've done the self-care. Thank you so much to everybody for being a part of that self-care journey. You know, Carol and Brent, you are amazing. Your books on self-care and really looking at yourself and loving yourself. Megan Logan, your workbook on how to look at yourself and just really be acceptable of who you are and how you were created. Pardon me. All of the books that I've read from all the gurus of self-care, the Bible, the most important one, going to Bali and having an experience that I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. I'm dying to go back there. I need to go back there. I wanted to go back there last year, and I'm going because I came back a different woman. When I went to Cuba and I saw people that looked like me, but spoke a language that I still can't understand, and I do my best, but that I have a brother and his family, his wife, his children, and his extended family in Cuba who reach out to me weekly. We pray for each other weekly. I translate my stuff on Google, translate in the hope that it's really saying what I want to say. And then I send it to him. Sometimes I send it in English and he translates it. He joins us on Wednesday mornings with Teresa, Sister T, that's right with us this morning. He joins us for prayer because I'm a part of a prayer group that she facilitates for us on Wednesday mornings at 6. He's my brother. And it's been 6 years, I think, since I've seen him. I think, in person. but we're connected. My dear son from another mother, Frederick, and his beautiful wife to be, Katerina, and their beautiful children who are my godchildren, who I love. Those children have never seen me in person, ever. I think Louis must be, I get it confused. I think Louis is almost 8 years old or 7 years old. I might be making you a little older, my king, but you see what I'm saying? The connection, it's the connection. And we're too busy running around making connection with stuff that isn't real. I use Facebook as a platform because I want to make sure that we get out to all the people out there that have been following us, as well as the people who are new to follow us. Please hit the subscribe button, share. I go on Facebook because I know that there are people, somebody somewhere in Africa, that they're hearing that they don't matter because they don't have the vaccine yet. That's what they're hearing by the vaccine not being in their country, that they don't matter yet. And I want them to know that they matter and that help is on the way, because there's advocates that are working to get that vaccine there, even though it appears that there isn't, when many of us have already had our booster. And it's to say, I'm not mad at you folks that got the booster. It's not your fault, but let's work together to make sure that everybody gets vaccinated so that we don't have to live with this disease. The people that want to be, there's whole countries that want to be, and those that don't, wear your mask, and we're not mad at you. And when a young woman will starve herself to death because we have told them that they have to look like Beyonce or Kim Kardashian or whoever, I'm not mad at those people. I'm not mad at those people, because it's all this systemic setup about sexuality and gender and humanity. It's just like, because we make money. It's a capitalistic system, and we make money on this makeup, and we make money on everything. But when it gets in the way of somebody being able to look in the mirror and say they love themselves just as much as they love life or the world or other things, then there's something systemically and societally incorrect. And that's what Life is a Sacred Journey is all about. It's about walking with caregivers, sharing information with caregivers, bringing these incredible folks that come to share with us. Oh, Dr. Rob, I think about you every day and pray for you and your wife every day. And I'm going to shoot you a text someday in the near future. I keep meaning to do it. But, you know, we have to do what we mean to do. That's my other pondering. I'm not going to any longer stop and let life get in the way. If I feel like texting somebody, calling somebody, leaving them a message, do it, do it, do it, do it. Because when they're gone, I'm here to tell you, the little bit of grief and suffering that you will feel from that is not little. It's not little, because you will feel it for some time to come. So reach out to that person that ran across your heart. That's what I always say to people. When I call my sister-in-law, who I love, I always say to her, you just ran across my heart. You know, you just ran across my heart. And so when people run across your heart, call them, talk to them, tell them you love them. Even if you only have a couple minutes, say, you know what, boyfriend, girlfriend, person I love, I only have a few minutes. But I wanted to say, I love you and that you matter to me. And if you're a person that believes in God, I always say, you matter to God, you matter to me. But just say you matter to me. And I hope you have the best day that the universe can possibly give you, and that you know that I'm thinking about you. That's all you have to say. And if you're scared, then send it in a message. Call them at 3. Send them a text with a bunch of heart emojis so they know that you care about them. Okay? It's so important, because when we think that we're alone, when we think that people don't care, then that's when we get sad, and that's when we feel like we're lost. My last pondering that I have this morning that I have to share with you, because this is heavy on my heart. I have learned over the last year and a half by participating in a project here in Alameda County about sex trafficking. We will have a guest that's going to come on. I have a young woman that's going to come on and tell her story. I'm holding back some tears, so I'm sorry. But I learned, and I've met now a couple of people who have been sex trafficked out of the city of Oakland. They're back home. They've been rescued. But they were young, under the age of 15. Under the age of 15. It broke my heart. You can visibly see it's still breaking my heart, because those little girls and boys are somebody's children. Those girls and boys had parents that possibly didn't want them because they were no one ever knew they were missing, okay? Maybe the parents were involved. I don't know. But no life comes to this earth to be victimized by another person. And when it is a child, we as adults must protect those children. And it was adults that were preying on those children. That is an abomination. We have so many things that we fight about in this earth. So many things that separate us on this earth. But when a child comes into on this planet, we have an obligation as a humanity to protect that life by any means necessary. And it doesn't mean taking them out of their home and putting them in a foster home where they're abused even more. And we know it. It means taking a foster care system and dismantling it and creating something where children are nurtured and loved and not used as sex objects. It's hard being a parent. Oh, yes, it is. I was a single parent for many, 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 many years. But if you are a single parent out there and you feel alone and you think your only choice is to give up on that child, don't. Go and get some help somewhere. I swear to God, somebody out there will help you. I know there will be. Go to a church. Find a United Methodist church. I'm going to put it out there. Find a United Methodist church. Ask for a United Methodist woman, and we will walk with you. Do not give up your children to this street and to this world. They deserve better. They deserve better. And we have to create a humanity where people understand that a life is not disposable. I don't care how they come here. I don't care what gay, straight, LGBTQI, transgender, Black, white, Asian, Samoan, all of it. When we abuse children and allow them not to grow to their best selves, teachers, when you abuse them in the classroom and don't make them feel joyful, because not every teacher is a good teacher. Trust me, I know. I've had one in my life. I told Dr. Rob, The first sting of racism came from a school teacher, not somebody on the street. You got to understand that this humanity becomes adults. So are you surprised that we have humanity that preys on other humanity when we've taught them at 9 years old that they're only a sex object to be sold on the street? What do you think that child would have been by the time it was 18? An animal seeking to do whatever animals do to survive. That's my last pondering today. And I didn't mean to hurt nobody. That's not what Life is a Sacred Journey is about. But when I see a 9-year-old little girl's body parts from the medical record that I read is torn apart because her life, she wasn't counted. She didn't matter. The world has got to change, my friends, my family of Life is a Sacred Journey. The world has have to change. We have to care enough about when Mother Earth cries out to us and stops giving us rain. We got to look deeper than saying, oh, how much is this going to cost? We have to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what do we need to do, Mother Earth? We're sorry, and we need to go back and change our behavior. We need to figure out when we're talking about our LGBTQ transgender families. Thank you, Cedric, for sharing your story with us. That we're not judging anybody, that we're trying to learn and love. And on the opposite side, that the LGBTQI transgender folks, you need to be patient with us that don't understand the terminologies because it's not in the dictionary for us to look it up. Come together. I'm tired of slogans. I'm tired of rhetoric. I want to see some action. And that's why I'm dedicating whatever life I have left. I'm so happy that my children are grown. Thank you, Lord, for beautiful children being grown, living, thriving in the world. And now I will give whatever I have left to get every child off the street, away from predators who believe that that's their function in life, to prey on little people. I'm here to tell you, there's a group of advocates that are coming up. Our voices are going to be heard, and we're going to change the legislation because there needs to be laws to protect those children, because, come on, too many of them. I'm also finding out that many of them have been reported as missing, but then because they live in communities that are underserved, nobody is looking for them. And their families don't have money for lawyers and all of that. Let's be the change we want to see on this planet. It has to be us, folks. Those of us that have the fortune, the great blessing. I thought about it last night walking through my house because I was in there thinking, oh, I can turn this room into. I'm thinking to myself, wow, Micheal, look how blessed you are. Look at all you have. And I have nothing compared to some. Thank you for bearing with me. That's what these ponderings are all about. I come to bear my soul with you. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm only saying, let's do it better. And if you're a predator out there and you're doing something against victimizing a child or a woman or anything, preying on, if you're a Black male that you feel so oppressed that you have to prey on other people, there's a wonderful group of Black men in Oakland that are reaching out to Black brothers on the street. They want to walk with you, but you got to make a step. They can't find you if you don't step forward. We want to change the trajectory of what it looks like to be Black in America. We want to lift up and lift you up so that you can grow more powerful with your mind and not your brawn and not the stereotypes that the world has said that you are. You can't be a king unless you act like a king. And so reach out. United Methodist men are looking for Black males to walk with and work with, but you don't show up. Your life matters. You deserve more. You deserve better. Reach out. Make the world a better place. Make your life a better place, because when your life is better, then the world is better. And we want you to live. That's the other thing. We want you to live. We need you. To our Asian brothers and sisters, you know, it is a stereotypical thing that has been done to you, making you the model minority, and therefore pain is being inflicted upon you systematically because others think that you think you're better than them, and it isn't even true. Just saying. To our LGBTQI transgender community, and to my dear transgender friend that I love so much, you know who you are, because I know you watch this. We're sorry that the world inflicted pain upon you, but now we need you to partner with us as a humanity, because the war is on the humanity connection. Because anytime we separate people by anything and we're not in the same room creating the laws for all of us and only for some, somebody's going to lose. That's just the way the system is set up. So I have one thing I want to read to you before I close out today. I've got to go get it because I forgot. And have a good weekend. Tomorrow I will be participating in my cousin's going home ceremony. So keep my family and her family, her children in your prayers. And we thank you for all of your condolences and sympathies and all of that. And I thank you for always walking with us on Life is a Sacred Journey. My name is Micheal Pope. It is my honor to serve you. That's what I come here for. My ponderings are not meant to offend. That's why they're Micheal Pope's ponderings. They're hopefully things that will plant some seeds in you that will grow and help you to find your pondering in that place where you question, advocate, and go out and make change. It's not enough to recognize that we are damaged. We now have to be about the work of repairing the damage. So I leave you with these last words. This is from Pastor Niamole, and I may have pronounced it wrong, Niamole. He was a victim of the Nazis, and he wrote this poem. First they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Speak out, brothers and sisters. That's what this is all about. Speak out, humanity. Have a wonderful weekend. Go out and hug a tree, hug a cat, pet a dog, hug yourself, more importantly, and know that this is a sacred journey. We're all on it. We're all on it. We may be on different paths on the road, different times in the road, but we're all on it. And until we really understand that we are victimizing each other and ourselves by allowing the victimization, then the humanity is not going to change. We cannot piecemeal social justice. Social justice is changing the laws to ensure that every man is created equal, and woman, and child, and dog and cat and nature and everything, everything. If we thought about it is in a way that we love everything, the world will be better. Have a good weekend, everybody. It's fall. Bring out your nice warm sweaters. Have a great weekend. We can't have fire in the fireplaces yet here in California because of the fires in the air. But get your warm, snuggly sweater, snuggle up to a book, snuggle up to yourself, snuggle up to love, and then get out in the world and share it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Peace out.